Mic check.
Lapel mic check. Hello. Wait, I'll go there and check. Can you hear? Can you hear? Louder? Okay. Am I audible to the audience? Yes.
Ask them to speak in the mic.
Yeah.
Which subject they are choosing. Also, in case I don't hear.
Welcome everyone to the final round of Mimamsa, the rapid fire round. As the name might have tipped you off, this one is going to be fast-paced and unlike the rounds before this. I'm your host, Meghna, and I will be taking over for the first part of this round. Let's have a quick recap of the rules. A grid of questions will be displayed on the screen, and by a draw of chits, the team to go first will be selected. The team then chooses which subject's question they would like to answer first. They will be given 30 seconds to think, after which they have to present their answer. If they are correct, they are awarded 5 points. And if it is wrong or not answered, one team member will be asked to sit in the audience. The question then passes in the predetermined order. On the pass, the points decrease as 5, 3, 2, and 1. If the question goes unanswered, it finally passes to the audience, and then the question-making coordinator will present the correct answer. Cross-questioning the answers provided by the QMCs is not allowed, and any queries will be addressed only after the round concludes. If any teams have clarifications in the rules, now is the time to ask, because later it will be at the organizing team's discretion. All right, let's proceed. Professor Madhu will be drawing the chits now. Seating arrangement? IISC will be taking the first question. Please select a subject.
Biology.
Algo bloom bloom. A lake was populated by algae that floated on its surface and submerged, rooted plants that firmly held the lake's sediments in place. The algae thrived from medium to high nutrient concentration, while the plants preferred low to medium nutrient concentration. The lake was initially dominated by submerged plants, but was polluted by nutrient influx, which caused it to become algae dominant. Cleaning efforts removed excess nutrients from the lake, but even after reaching the original nutrient levels, the algae still dominated. Only after reaching extremely low nutrient levels, the plants returned. After restoring the nutrient levels to original again, the plants persisted. Explain.
When the nutrient concentration was decreased, when it was decreased, first the submerged rooted plants died, and it provided the next nutrients which were required by the algae when the cleaning effort was ongoing. But after it reached the extremely low nutrient levels, the algae were removed, and then the submerged rooted plants again grew.
QMC, will you confirm?
Can you clarify why in the medium range, at the original range, we see both plants and algae at different times, despite being same nutrient level?
Can you repeat?
I'm audible?
Yes.
Yeah. Can you clarify in the medium range where we see at the original nutrient level, we see both plants or algae at different times? Why is that the case?
Because during the cleaning effort, when the excess nutrient was removed, after that the rooted and submerged plants provided the nutrients to the algae.
how are the submerged plants providing nutrients to the algae?
By decaying.
So the plants, because of algae is utilizing the oxygen dissolved in the water, so the plants will start to die. So even after we remove the nutrients, the plants start dying off and providing the nutrients to algae. And like even after removing almost all nutrients, will the algae die? And then because like oxygen will regenerate for the water bodies, then only plants can survive.
Correct answer.
Congratulations, that is 5 points. The next question is directed to IIT Bombay. Which subject would you like to choose? I'll just say it.
Physics.
Physics. Tea time with Trelawney. In divinity class, Professor Trelawney wants to read tea leaves to see if she gets tenure at Hogwarts. She stirs the tea in the cup and the tea leaves settle at the bottom, then to the center of the cup. Can you explain why the leaves settle in this way? A video of Trelawney stirring the cup is shown.
So initially when we stir, there's a like parabolic type of profile in the liquid. So the pressure is minimum at the lowest level. So this like there's a pressure. So the lowest pressure is at the bottom. So the tea settles at the bottom initially. So and after a while, the whole tea is settled down normally. So it settles where the buoyancy balance the weight of the leaf. So in the middle of the.
So buoyant force has no role to play here because tea is heavier than water.
So like wherever there is an equilibrium, so initially we can't say where there's a force balance, it would stay there because initially there's a very low pressure at the bottom due to stirring, so it would go there.
And then it again rises up.
Yeah.
Why is that?
Because now it's a very like consistent, the pressure is distributed consistently on the liquid. So
Incorrect.
One team member will have to sit in the audience, and the question passes to IIT Delhi.
When the T is rotating, a vortex-like, the T takes a vortex-like shape. So the ISO bar is a parabola. So the leaves settle to the center point of the parabola. But when it settles, it takes a normal flat shape. So it goes to the top leaves.
Can you repeat the argument?
Okay, so when the T is rotating, the liquid goes in, there's a vortex. So at the center point is deeper than the normal level. So leaves settle down there.
And then they rise up again, right?
Right.
Did you see the video?
Yes. So
So that does not really explain us.
The question passes. IIT Kanpur, do you have an answer?
Yeah, so when you're stirring the liquid, the surface is no longer the flat surface, right? So it dips down. And then when you stop stirring, the surface goes back to, being flat.
So the tea leaves go outward and then they go down and then they come back again.
Okay.
Pass.
The question passes. IISc, do you have an answer?
So when we are rotating the liquid, there is there's centrifugal force applying towards the moving from rotating frame. Centrifugal force towards the outwards on the tea leaves, and then there is gravity downwards. So the buoyant force will apply on the tea leaves in the direction of their opposite to the direction of their equivalent. So the tea leaves can move along perpendicular to the forces, which will be of a parabolic shape. So they'll come from outside towards the center inside the liquid, and when it starts settling down, they'll come rise to the top again.
Incorrect.
The question now passes to the audience. Would someone like to give the answer?
Yeah, the tea leaves settle at the bottom due to equipartition of energy.
How is there equipartition of energy in this system?
QMC, will you present the correct answer now?
Okay, so basically,
So actually,
yeah, so basically what happens is that there's a centrifugal force, obviously, right? And the centrifugal force reduces in magnitude as you go downward because of the viscous effect. That sets up convective currents. So because of that, the tea leaves go downward and then they come back again at the center.
The next question will be directed to IIT Kanpur. Please select a subject.
Physics.
Oh, I'm so sorry. IIC started, yes. I'm so sorry. I will come back to you after this and then we'll proceed in the correct order, yes? I'll leave this. Obi-Wan Kulkarni has the high, yes, it's yours, and then I'll go to them afterwards. Obi-Wan Kulkarni has the high ground at a height h and at a distance b from Darth Vader. In order to kill Obi-Wan, Darth sends a beam of massive neutral particles which encounters an ideal beam splitter. One of the beams travels horizontally, gets reflected, and travels vertically. The other travels vertically and then horizontally as indicated in the figure. The beams meet again and hurt Obi-Wan. The intensity of the beam is dependent on the distance b. Assume that the gravity points downwards and wave-particle duality holds. Explain why. Will it also depend on the height h?
Basically, it'd be a superposition of the two beams traveling, right? So if so, it'll be dependent on the path length ultimately, and therefore. Okay, sorry. Yeah. So it'll be a superposition of the two beams that's traveling, right? Ultimately, so the resultant field would be dependent on the path length difference has traveled, right? So it will depend on the height h too, right?
Why is there a path length difference? Pass.
The question passes to IIFC and one team member will have to leave.
So, assuming wave particle duality holds, initially both of the before the splitting, all are in phase. Now, the bottom, since the one wave travels upward, it loses some potential energy due to gravity. So the wave moves slower in the upper portion as compared to lower portion. Now they cover same distance, so so we get a path difference between them. The height will matter because the reduction in speed depends on the height, but the actual so finally we get different intensities because of constructive or destructive interference.
Correct answer.
That is 3 points to IISc. This question is directed to IIT Delhi. Please select a subject. Chemistry. Complex A, when dissolved in dimethyl sulfoxide, was seen to retain its stereochemistry, while complex B racemizes in DMSO to yield a solution with no net optical activity. Explain the reason.
So in B, there are 3 phenyl CF3 groups plus an NME2 phenyl group. So there is a strong minus I effect on manganese from these ligands. So electron cloud from manganese is pulled, and the umbrella effect can be observed in complex B. So in solution, it can flip its stereochemistry, while in A there is no such case. So in B racemizes while A retains its stereochemistry.
So what group cleaves off during this flipping?
What?
What group cleaves off during this umbrella inversion you are speaking of?
PCF3, phenyl CF3 thrice P.
Because of the minus I effect.
Minus effect.
Sure, correct answer.
Congratulations, that is 5 points. The question is now directed to IISc. Please pick a subject, and you can't pick a subject that you picked last time.
Chemistry.
Chemistry. Compound A reacts with the methylene triphenyl phosphoranilide to form an alkene, but compound B does not. Why is this so?
So basically, in compound A, the lone pair is not in conjugation with a double bond with O, so it is free to participate in the reaction with this Wittig reaction. And in this one, the N is in conjugation with O, so the lone pair is not available for reaction, and as a result, no reaction happens.
In A, why is
And like
Due to this bridge rule, or basically it's at the terminal of.
yeah.
It's a bridge head atom.
so where is the lone pair pointing?
What?
Where is the lone pair pointing with respect to the C double bond? No, lone pair on nitrogen, which is not in conjugation.
Nitrogen of lone pair is pointing toward upwards.
So in the same plane or perpendicular to the plane of C double bond?
No, it's perpendicular to the plane. Basically, it's the lone pair is upwards, but the like plane of the double bond is like this. So their lone pairs are moving out of the plane. So they are not in conjugation, basically.
Sure.
Well,
Okay. Yeah, correct answer.
That is correct. Plus 5 to IISc. The next question is directed to IIT Bombay. Which subject would you like to pick?
ECS.
ECS. Mr. Bombastic. Otis, the geologist cow, collects 2 igneous rock samples, Biggie and Cheese, one from the surface and one from deeper in the crust. However, he mixes them up and does not know which is which. The only information he has is that Biggie has large crystals, while Cheese really small ones. Can you help him identify their origin?
Okay, so the large crystals, one will be deeper in the crust, and the smaller will be upwards, because when it's deeper in the crust, it is more time to crystallize, so it will form larger crystals, and when it's upwards, it crystallizes faster, so it forms smaller crystals.
That is correct.
That is correct. Congratulations. 5 points, and your teammate can come back. The next question is directed to IIT Delhi. Which subject? Maths. Okay. A college has 2 messes to eat from, U square and RR. On the first day of college, some people eat in one mess while the rest eat in the other. On the second day, 10% of the students who were eating in RR switched to U square due to the excessively long waiting lines. 50% of the students who were eating in U square were sent to the hospital due to their bad food quality. People who go to the hospital stay there for one day and don't use any of the messes for that day, and then go to RR the next day. This process continues with the same proportions of students getting switched between the two messes and the hospital. Given the population of the college is 1300, what is the equilibrium population of RR in the long run? IIT Delhi, I need an answer.
So this is a Markov chain, and the answer is approximately 1300 minus 217, so 1083.
That is incorrect.
One teammate will have to leave, and the question passes to IIT Kanpur. Do you have an answer? I'll move on to IISc then. Do you have an answer?
So at the end of the process, we should reach a equilibrium. So let's say we assign populations x to the RR.
I just need the answer. It's fine.
We have the equation, just need to find an answer. Can we say the equations?
Why?
I guess the population in RR will be 1000, and in Y and Z it will be 100, 200 and 100.
Good.
That is correct. 3 points to IISc. 2, all right. 2 points to IISc. The next directed question is to IIT Kanpur. Which subject do you choose? Maths. Find all the real numbers a greater than 0 such that x to the power a equals a to the power x has exactly one solution in x greater than 0. Kanpur, I'll need an answer now.
1.
That is incorrect.
One teammate will have to sit in the audience. The question passes to IISc. Do you have an answer?
So I think it has 2 real numbers.
Repeat?
2 real numbers.
I asked all the real numbers, not how many of them are.
The question passes. IIT Bombay, do you have an answer?
X equal to 1, x equal to 2. Yeah, I mean a equal to 1, a equal to 2.
No.
Incorrect. IIT Delhi.
A equal to E, Euler's constant.
There is more to it.
1 by E.
No.
Okay. No points to any of the teams for that question. Would anyone in the audience like to take this? Who's taking the audience question?
A less than 1 and A equal to E.
Yeah, works.
That is correct. This question is directed to IISc. Which subject would you like to pick? Physics. live long and prosper. The USS Enterprise is a starship around a planet in a circular orbit A. In order to beam Spock and Kirk down, she needs to transition to another orbit B that is also circular, larger than A, and also in another plane. However, the Enterprise can only fire his thrusters twice, at each time imparting arbitrary momentum in arbitrary direction. The starship cannot fire her thrusters continuously. Can the USS Enterprise move from orbit A to orbit B? If yes, in what order should the thrusters be fired to complete the maneuver? I need an answer.
Yeah. So we can assume the orbit A in like horizontal plane, and B's plane to be upwards as a circular one. Let's say at the extreme of the circle, the we fire thruster such that it's thrusted upwards and one like along the tangent of the circle. Then we'll go in a helical path, not a helical path. It will in the upward direction. So we'll have a trajectory like this, and we'll reach the second orbit in that case. And then we need to like fire another set of thrusters to now stay in that orbit. So once we need to fire to go from out of the A orbit, and then to get captured in the B orbit, we need to fire once again.
Correct answer.
Congratulations, plus 5 points. The next question is directed to IIT Bombay. Which subject? Biology. Marine mollusks disperse by means of planktonic larvae. Some types of mollusks have larvae provisioned with stored food in the form of yolk, while others have larvae that subsist by eating phytoplankton. If a larva finds a good place to settle down or runs out of food, it settles down and matures. Which type of mollusk will have a higher rate of evolution of new species and extinction?
The mollusk which is surviving by eating phytoplankton will tend towards extinction, and the one which is using stored food in the form of yolk will have a higher rate of evolution.
Incorrect.
One member will have to leave, and the question passes to IIT Delhi.
The larva which eats phytoplankton will have a higher rate of evolution because it will find a good place to settle down, but the larva with the yolk will mature anywhere which might be which might not be hospitable. So it will sit in dangerous environments also.
Incorrect.
The question passes.
Okay, the larva which has the yolk will actually have a lower rate of extinction because it can use that food and live. And it is the larva which uses phytoplankton which will have a higher rate of evolution because it will mature faster because it will run out of food sooner, so it will mature faster, thereby it will be able to reproduce more and hence will have a higher rate of evolution.
Incorrect.
The question passes to IISc. Do you have an answer? No? Oh, yes.
The larva which survives on the phytoplankton will have a higher rate of evolution because as the environment is more variable, it must evolve faster to keep the same pace.
Incorrect.
Does the audience have any answer? Then I request the QMC to present the correct answer.
The larvae which subsist on yolk have a limited range of dispersal. They can only disperse as far as the yolk lasts. The larvae that eat phytoplankton can disperse indefinitely and hence over a much longer distance. Lesser dispersal ranges means less gene flow between population, hence higher rates of divergence and speciation, but also higher endemism and therefore high extinction rates.
The next question is directed to IIT Delhi. Which subject would you like? Physics. The mad titan Mogranos is teaching his stepchild Dhairya Bhandora the principles of electrodynamics. He considers three infinity stones of the same charge, fixed at the vertices of an equilateral triangle. Dhairya has to point out and reason the stable and unstable equilibrium points in the plane of the triangle. I need an answer.
So the stable equilibrium points, is the centroid, and there are no unstable equilibrium points. The stable equilibrium point would be at the centroid, and there will be no unstable equilibrium points.
Incorrect.
One teammate will have to leave, and the question passes. Do you have an answer, IIT Kanpur? I will pass to IISc. Do you have an answer?
So we have four equilibrium points, one at the center and three at the around the vertices, because like one at a closer distance to one vertex, they will have more force in the and we take the cos component of the other two, so we get one more around each vertex in the symmetric.
Can you exactly tell where the second point that you mentioned is?
Again, we need to solve the equation for that, but I can tell which one is.
The question passes. IIT Bombay, do you have an answer?
There is one equilibrium point at the centroid and it is unstable.
Incorrect.
Does anyone in the audience want to answer? Okay, QMC, please present the correct answer.
So there is one stable equilibrium point at the centroid, and then there are three unstable equilibrium points at the perpendicular bisectors, so near the edge of the triangle. That is because if you have a stable equilibrium point, then the field would point inward, and as you move outward towards, outside the triangle, the field points outward. So because of the continuity of the electric field, there has to be an equilibrium point there. So there are three unstable equilibrium points there.
The next question is directed to IIT Kanpur. Please select a subject.
ECS.
Imagine an Earth. No, you spin me right round twice. Imagine an Earth that rotates east to west instead of west to east at the same speed and is named Thur. If Thur's moon rotates in the same direction and with the same speed as Earth's moon, after 1 billion years, would Thur rotate slower or quicker than the real Earth? Why? A hint, it takes 12 hours and 25 minutes for 2 consecutive lunar high tides to happen on Earth. Ignore solar tides.
Okay. Based on the information of lunar high tides, we can reason out that the moon has at present has slowed down the rotation of the earth. Now since now we have changed the direction, so the theory will actually rotate quicker than the real earth.
That is incorrect. Passes to the next team.
And one teammate will have to leave. IISc, do you have an answer?
So the planet will become slower because now the moon is rotating in the opposite direction to this planet's rotation. So moon will through the like tidal forces and all put like force on the planet such that it slows down its rotation. Like even in the normal case, since the moon is rotating slower, revolving slower, it slows down. But in this case, since it's opposite, it will also slow down.
I need a clarification on exactly why Theer would be slower.
Yeah, so it pulls the tides towards it. So like it bulges about,
Okay.
and now since it bulges about, it wants to like.
So basically, the moon moves opposite, and since and the tides bulge out. So it while the moon moves, it produces the opposite kind of force to slow down.
Passes.
Would you like to answer?
Okay, so in this Theer, the time period will be lower from 12 hours. So that's why the Theer will rotate slower than Earth.
Can you clarify that?
Sorry?
Can you repeat your statement?
The time period of the high tides, this time period 12 hours 25 minutes will be lower. That's why it will be slower.
That is correct.
The next question is directed to IISc. Earth Science. Susquehanna. Given below is the image of the river Susquehanna cutting through a huge mountain range. Put funda, that means explain how this might have happened.
Basically, actually it should have gone with the curve of the mountain, but here it comes directly due to forming of a lake, Oxbow Lake somewhere, and as a result it goes straight ahead.
Passes to the next team.
So basically mountain ranges are formed when two tectonic plates come together and they bulge out. So if there was a river already present, and since the mountain would be formed slowly, due to soil erosion, the river could have stayed in the sea.
That is completely correct.
Congratulations, +3. The next question is directed to IIT Bombay. Which subject?
Mathematics.
Math. Math. Yeah. Find the smallest natural number n such that n times 999999 is entirely composed of ones in all its digits.
is 1 plus 10 plus 10 square plus 10 cube plus 10 power 4 plus 10 power 5.
Can you repeat again?
1 plus 10 plus 10 square plus 10 cube plus 10 power 4 plus 10 power 5.
No.
Incorrect. One team member will have to leave. The question passes.
N is 1 plus 10 raised to 6 plus 10 raised to 12 plus so on up to 10 raised to 18 plus on to 10 raised to 48, the whole divided by 9.
No.
The question passes. Do you have an answer? IISE? Do you have an answer?
So N should be like 10 plus 1 plus 10 raised to 6 plus 10 raised to 7 plus 10 raised to 13 plus 10 raised to 19 and like 6 powers of 10 added together.
No.
Would anyone in the audience like to answer?
The answer is 10 to the power 54 minus 1 by 9 into 10 to the power 6 minus 1.
Okay. See, you made the question, so you'll know the answer.
Next to IIT Bombay, no? No, Delhi. Yes. The next question is directed to IIT Delhi. Please select a subject.
Sure, you can give it to
Yeah.
them.
That is correct. You get a team member back and +5. Yeah. Or do you have to choose? Okay. The next question is directed to IIT Kanpur. Biology. Basal and thymine. If a protein very specifically binds to a double-stranded DNA sequence, that is a set of consecutive base pairings, which groove of the DNA helix will the protein approach such that the binding is relatively more specific? Red color represents hydrogen bond acceptors, blue represents hydrogen bond donors, and yellow represents the methyl group.
Okay, because it has to specifically bind to one particular place, I feel that it should bind to the methyl group, because hydrogen bond acceptors and donors are not very specific, they'll be present everywhere.
The major groove or the minor groove, specify.
Where? Major, minor, where? Oh, there. I guess it should bind to the minor groove.
Incorrect.
The question passes. IISC, do you have an answer?
So we think it'll bind to the major groove because that.
Can you speak?
We think it'll bind to the major groove, and that'll be more specific because there are more donors over there, so there can be more interactions, and so it'll be more specific.
Correct.
Congratulations, that is 3 points. The next question is directed to IISC. Is one subject left with that? Yes, you have to pick math now. Yeah, math. There are n people in a room and I have 2 hands. There are n people in a room and have been asked to shake hands with exactly r people, r less than n. What conditions need to be satisfied by n and r such that the given task is possible? I need an answer.
So we can so we have n people. We can model it as we have n vertices. Each hand say corresponds to an edge. So then we can apply Euler characteristic and planar graph to get condition between n and r.
Okay, but what's the condition?
So Euler characteristic exactly v minus e plus f equals to 2.
No.
Incorrect, and one teammate will have to leave. The question passes to IIT Bombay. Do you have an answer?
R is a factor of n.
Huh?
R is a factor of n.
No.
Incorrect. IIT Delhi.
We'll do the same thing, that we'll create a graph where each edge is a handshake. And since the sum of degrees should be even, we'll say that nr is even.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. That is 2 points. The next question is directed to IIT Bombay. Which subject? You will have to pick chemistry this time. The given compound labeled with O18 is first reacted with triethyl orthoacetate, and the free hydroxyl groups are subsequently protected with benzoyl chloride. Which oxygen atoms remain labeled after the reactions? An answer?
So
It could be A or B or C.
Incorrect.
A teammate will have to leave and the question passes.
O18, like E, D, or F has to be, one of them has to be O18.
Incorrect.
The question passes. Do you have an answer? IISC, do you have an answer?
It would be F.
Only?
एक ही तो 18 वाला है, हाँ, तो F है. It's safe only.
Sure, correct.
Congratulations, that is 1 point. The next question is directed to IIT Delhi, and you have to pick biology. A species of butterfly has a specific wing pattern and is hunted by efficient predators which are smart and can learn to correlate patterns by trial and error. The butterflies produce a toxin to repel the predators, but production of the toxin incurs a heavy metabolic cost upon the individual. A mutant appears in the population that doesn't produce the toxins, and in a few generations, the predators end up eating all the butterflies. Why did this happen? Assume that no other evolutionary effect is involved.
So because the mutant doesn't produce the toxin, it doesn't have a heavy metabolic cost, so it could spend that energy on reproduction, and it like basically the mutant population grows in comparison to the normal population. But this is bad because the predators will eventually eat all the mutants, so that's why all the butterflies become extinct.
Why are the non-mutants going extinct as well?
Because this mutation, because this mutation favors reproduction. So the percentage of population, so they probably all live in the same place. So like with the mutant butterflies, even the non-mutant butterflies will die.
What he's saying is that eventually all the generation will have mutant butterflies after a few generations, and that's why they'll start dying. They'll end up dead.
Okay, correct.
That is correct. Plus 5 points, and the teammate is brought back. The next question is to IIT Kanpur, and you will have to pick chemistry. Add HG and I am strong. Melting temperature of a double-stranded DNA fragment is the temperature at which half of the chain is separated. Explain why the melting temperature of the following oligonucleotide increases by 10 degrees Celsius upon addition of Hg2+.
Okay, it might be that the addition of Hg2 plus does some kind of coordination with the nitrogen oxygen centers, which increases the forces between the strands, so because of which the temperature will increase.
Which nucleobases?
Which nucleobases? I feel it'll the bond between A and G. Maybe.
Incorrect.
The question passes. IISc, do you have an answer?
So basically, just like when we add sulfur, there's disulfide linkages which increase the bond strength. Similarly, we assume that a similar phenomenon happening when we add Hg2+. It binds to both the bases in the opposite strands, and as a result, it increases the strength of the bonds and thus the melting temperature.
So no base in particular.
What?
No nucleobase in particular.
C and G.
Incorrect.
The question passes. IIT Bombay.
Yes, so again, the addition of Hg plus, Hg2 plus increases the bond strength between the nuclear bases, and there is no specific base in general.
Incorrect.
IIT Delhi.
So the bases it binds to are A and D.
Incorrect.
Does anyone in the audience have an answer?
Hello. Yeah, in the middle of both the strands, there seem to be TT and TT again. So I think it's something to do with that part.
Sure. So there is a TT mismatch. By Ag2 plus.
With all 20 questions completed, the passing round is over, and I will be handing it over to Manaswi, who is taking over for the buzzer round. Yes, and the teammates come back. Just take a picture of the board, I guess. All the points are recorded? Yeah.
So yeah, we talked with the team. One of the IIT.
Alright, so we get what round? Anyway, I think this round. Take a picture.
Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Manaswi, and anticipated round of Mimamsa. This is also the final round, so participants, give your best. Now, I will quickly brief you through the rules. The team which buzzes first will be given a chance to answer. 3 points will be awarded for every correct answer, and 1 point will be deducted for every incorrect answer. Unlike the previous round, if you answer incorrectly, none of the teammates will be asked to leave. All right, and I will read out the questions. 30 seconds will be provided for you to answer or to buzz after that. Please note that if you buzz while I'm reading, it will not be considered. All right, so are the rules clear to everyone? All right. QMCs, are we ready? Technical team, are we ready? Audience, if the question is answered incorrectly, it will come directly to you. So please, I hope you all participate actively. Okay, are we ready, audience? Are we ready, audience? All right, let's begin. Question 1, cooking cancer with kuhak. Cancer cells can grow and divide independently of growth factors. Gurothisin is a drug that affects cell cycle by disrupting it. However, this is reversible and only affects cells which are under normal regulation. Somatosporin is a drug which kills cells after a certain stage of the cell cycle indiscriminately. A combination of these drugs have been found to be very effective in treating cancer cells without killing normal cells. How and why? Yes, IIT Delhi, your answer please.
So gurjothisin affects cell cycle by disrupting it and only affects cells which are in a normal regulation. So after it disrupts of the normal regulation, the cancer cells will still have their normal cell regulation going on, and so somatosporin is a drug which kills after a certain stage of cell cycle. So all the cancer cells will pass this cell cycle stage and they will be killed off.
Correct.
Congratulations, IIT Delhi. 3 points to IIT Delhi. Moving on to the next question. Chemistry, gas. Unprocessed natural gas extracted from oil fields contains up to 7% helium by volume. Explain the presence of an inert gas like helium in these fossil fuel reservoirs. Yes, IIT Delhi. Since you buzzed while I was reading, it cannot be considered. I'm sorry.
This is due to nuclear reactions that are happening inside, in the oil fields. That's why helium gas, which is due to alpha particles, that's how the helium gas is processed.
Sure, correct answer.
Congratulations, IIT Delhi. Let's see, will this be the hat-trick question for IIT Delhi or will somebody else steal the points? Next question, please. ECS. An object moving at some speed eastwards with respect to the Earth is deflected towards the equator at a latitude of 50 degrees north. But the same object moving at the same relative speed at the equator is not deflected. Why? Give a physical explanation. Meghna, can we? Yes, ISC Bangalore.
It is mainly because of the Coriolis effect, because at the equator we will not find any Coriolis effect, whereas at the latitude of 50 degree there will be a Coriolis effect.
That is correct.
Congratulations, IISc Bangalore. Moving on, math. Mobius but trippy business. Given two complex functions, f of z is equal to az plus b by cz plus d, and g of z is equal to pz plus q by rz plus s, where f of z and g of z are different functions of a, b, c, d, p, q, r, s are all real numbers, what is the maximum number of points where f of z is equal to g of z? Meghna, can we confirm? 2, that is IIT Bombay.
That is incorrect.
Sorry, you won't get 3 points. Yeah, that's a -1 for IIT Bombay. Anyone in the audience would like to answer? Yes. QMCs, is 7 the correct answer?
Unfortunately, no.
No. Anybody else?
2.
Correct.
That's the correct answer. Thank you very much. Next question. Ring theory. Soren Yugi, in order to return, please do not buzz, in order to return to power in Middle Earth, makes a new ring of power, but this time it is 2 bands of gold and silver joined end to end. Unsurprisingly, he loses it again to the hands of Anarghulam, who puts the ring in a pool of liquid nitrogen. Bill Boksh chances upon this pool after the nitrogen has boiled away. What will he find? Meghna? Yes, IIT Delhi.
He'll find that the ring is broken.
Why?
Because they have different coefficients of thermal expansion.
Correct.
Congratulations, IIT Delhi. All right, next question. Biology. No folate in our stars. Trihydrofolate B9 delivers 1 carbon groups for various biochemical reactions as shown. Methionine has alternate pathways of production. Explain how vitamin B12, that is cobalamin deficiency, would cause a decrease in the number of RBCs. IIT Delhi again.
-1.
Please take a moment to think and answer. Okay, it's not allowed to buzz and answer. All right. QMCs, can we please present the answer? Audience. Oh, audience. Anyone in the audience? Sir. Can somebody please hand over the mic to me? With the given phase diagram, pressure versus temperature plot, which thermodynamic law does unobtainium violate and how? The following equation may be of use for figuring out the answer, where delta S and delta V are the change in molar entropy and volume respectively for any phase transition. Assume that volume of gas is very, very greater than volume of liquid or volume of solid. Yes, IISc Bangalore.
We think it violates the second law of thermodynamics because...
How?
Because like the particles so
del P by del T is negative, which means that the change in the delta S is negative, which is not true. I mean...
you know water also follows that.
Okay.
I'm afraid that's the incorrect answer. Audience? Yes, we have 2 hands. Okay, 1 hand.
We see from the graph that the slope for the liquid gas phase transition is more than the solid gas phase transition. Working out the equations, we see that S bar for liquid is greater than S bar for solid, which cannot be the case because S bar for solid is greater than the S bar for liquid, yeah, which cannot be the case because a substance absorbs heat while it melts. And hence the second law is violated. Yeah.
Sure.
Thank you. Thank you
But
for
he
the
does not
answer.
get any credit. So basically, this is the equation he is talking about. If we put in the values from the del V bar is approximately V gas. So from that equation it follows.
Thank you, QMC. Moving on to the next question. Sweater weather. Glacier surfaces are often covered with debris, which affects their melting. It is seen that initially this increases melting rates because they absorb more sunlight. But after the debris layer crosses a certain thickness, the melt rate decreases. Why? Meghna, can we confirm? IIT Delhi again.
The debris layer is opaque, so after it crosses a certain thickness, only the debris layer absorbs the heat, but it does not transfer to the ice because the thermal conductivity of the debris layer is not high.
That is correct.
Congratulations, IIT Delhi. Yes, I mean, yes, we would like to check again. Can you buzz? Yes, it is. No. See, the buzzer catches even a millisecond difference, so there's no point questioning the buzzers. I'm sorry, that's a technical thing. I cannot help you. Okay, moving on to the next question. The triplets are born. Find all the integer solutions of x, y, z in R3 that satisfies the following equation. X squared plus y squared plus z squared is equal to x, y, z. Which team was that, Meghna? One. No. Yes, IISc Bangalore.
We think there is only one solution, 0, 0,000.
Correct.
Excellent job. Okay, one who shows the Bene Iserite, in their negatively infinite wisdom, decide to make 3 new Gom Jabbar boxes. These boxes have a gas at temperature T. The boxes have adiabatic walls at temperature T wall. One of the walls is a pressure gauge. Arrange the following 3 cases in the increasing order of the pressure gauge reading. 1, T is equal to T wall. 2, T less than T wall. 3, T greater than T wall. T is the same in all cases. Yes, IIT Bombay.
It will be 3, then 1, then 2.
Why?
Because if the gas is higher temperature, it will the particles will be moving faster, so it will apply more pressure to the wall.
Correct.
Congratulations, IIT Bombay. 3 points for you. Oi, oi, batatoli. Mustache bats use echolocation. Each bat has ears sensitive to a unique frequency of sound. Since these bats fly fast, they evolved a mechanism to change the frequency of the sound they emit to compensate for the Doppler shift resulting from this motion. A bat is placed on a swing with time period t and released from some height such that in the first half of the time period, the bat moves backwards. Why does the frequency not go above f in time t, where f is the unique frequency of sound to which the bat's ears are sensitive? Please refer to the graph. Time's up. All right, anyone in the audience? Yes. Okay, yes, sir. A little loudly if you can.
Bats don't fly backwards.
Correct answer.
Oh, well, that was a trick question.
Short answer that. Short answer is that bats don't fly backwards. So when the swing moves backwards, the bat will have no idea what to do.
Interesting. Thank you, QMC. Okay, there are 4 more questions to go, so teams, please give it all you've got. Okay, dipolar disorder. Which of the following compounds is most and least soluble in toluene and why? Yes, IIT Delhi.
A is the most soluble and D is the least soluble. Because D is the most polar and A is the least polar and toluene is non-polar.
Beautiful, but the answer is wrong.
I'm afraid that is the correctly phrased incorrect answer. Yes, anyone in the audience? Okay, okay, everyone. Meghna -1.
And dipole moment is a vector quantity. So I'll explain the answer. So basically, if you look at the 3 CF bonds, then this amounts to 1 CF bond. So these two are same. There is greater angle, so this one is highest. Do vector addition.
All right, all right. Okay, moving on. The mega assault. Megalodon, a giant shark, observes that the boiling point of seawater is higher during an ice age compared to a non-glacial period. Why is that so? IIT Delhi.
During an ice age, there is less water present, and sorry.
During the ice age, there is less salt in the seawater, and after the ice age, there is more salt. So
Wait, the opposite. Sorry, there is more salt because there is less water present. While the non-glacial period, there is more water, so the salt is more dissolved state, and that's why the boiling point is lesser during a non-glacial period.
Can you clarify?
I mean that there is like the salt per amount of water is lesser during the non-glacial period because there is much more water present in the sea. That's why that boiling point is lesser during the non-glacial period.
You can give it to them. Yeah. So, I mean, the answer to be more clear is ice forms only with fresh water and not with salt water. So, there is freshwater removal from the oceans. So, the sea is saltier.
Congratulations, IIT Delhi. Nicely explained, QMC. Thank you. Moving on. In a room of n people, 2 people are either friends or strangers to each other. The people are such that no person has the same number of friends as any other person. What is the maximum finite value of n? IIT Delhi.
There can be no such value of n.
Yes.
Wow. That was brilliant. Congratulations. Next question. Batman wants to send a signal from the Batcave to Robin using optical fiber cables. The Joker reduces the wavelength of the light in the optical cable but fails to reduce the intensity of the light. This, however, still results in the signal never reaching Robin due to attenuation. Why is this the case? Buzz again. All right.
So when you decrease the wavelength, you decrease the wavelength. Yeah. Yeah. So that time total interlens reflection doesn't happen. Because the refractive index, it fails to do total internal reflection.
Can you hold the mic?
Huh? So it fails to do total internal reflection. So the signal doesn't reach to the other side.
Incorrect.
-1 points to IISc Bangalore. Anyone in the audience who would like to answer? Yes.
So optical fibers work on the principle of TIR. So if you increase the decrease the wavelength, it kind of messes up the refractive index, so it doesn't TIR.
She did not declare that as the answer.
So yeah, if you decrease the wavelength, that increases the refractive index, which decreases the critical angle, because of which there would be a lot of attenuation, because now there would be, create a number of reflections.
If you have any doubts, we will clarify with the QMCs later.